Get an opportunity to speak with a member of this year's class of Hall of Fame inductees at Bucknell University, Jason Buursma, joining me right now. Jason, congratulations. What a great honor.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's awesome.
You were, in your very first year of eligibility, inducted into the Hall of Fame. How did that make you feel?
I wasn't expecting it whatsoever, actually. So it was really humbling. It was an honor. It's awesome.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of being able to call some of your games and to watch you go out there and perform. You were incredible. Did you ever, when you went out there, no matter what position, we'll talk about that in a minute, did you ever get the feeling, yeah, I'm pretty good, or you seemed so humble when you were out there?
I never got that impression. I think once you think that, then you kind of lose your edge. So tried not to. Tried to think that we take it one game at a time, one inning at a time, and go out there and win the game.
But when Todd Newcomb ended up giving you the call and saying, hey, you're in this year's class of the Hall of Fame, looking back on it, I don't know if you had an opportunity to look back on your career, all Patriot League, 4 different positions, 2 in 1 year. I mean, first base, outfield, pitcher, designated hitter. It's never been done before. I mean, looking back on it, it has to make you smile some.
It does, yeah. I get the opportunity to be able to play all those positions really was a big deal to me, and our Coach Depew gave me that opportunity, and I couldn't have done it without that.
How did you come to coming to Bucknell? Obviously, Coach Depew, he may have recruited you. Maybe it was some of his assistants. But talk us through how you ended up being at Bucknell.
Yeah, I wanted to play baseball in college, but I didn't want to just be an athlete. I wanted to get an education. I wanted to set myself up for the future. And Bucknell was the perfect combination of that for me. D1 sports, great education, so it really hit the mark.
Did you think it was going to be a tough transition from high school to college? And then, looking back on it, was it as tough of a transition as you expected it to be?
I was nervous, for sure. There were 25 other guys that were older, more experienced players that I was going up against. But the team was great. Everybody was welcoming. I felt at home from day one, so that really made the transition much more easy.
When you were talking with the coaches, and in particular Coach Depew, did you say, Coach, I would love to be able to play multiple positions? I mean, did you actually bring that to him, or did he suggest it?
He knew that I pitched and played third base. I really came in as a recruit to play third base and infield and hit. And then, during the fall, I was like, hey, I also pitched in high school. Would you, want me to do some of that as well? And they said, sure, why not? Let's see it.
And they saw it for sure. How did you learn that submarine style?
It was in high school. One of my pitching coaches threw like that when he was young. And I was playing around with that, and it had some success. And nobody in high school was seeing that arm slot at all. So it worked, and I kept doing it, and it kept working. So there you go.
And was it also less taxing on your arm?
Much less taxing, yeah. It's the same as softball pitchers. They can go every day, every weekend. So I had no shoulder problems, no injuries whatsoever. I could throw all the time. It really helped.
But you played all those other positions. Was it tough to focus? Or, you'd play first base or you'd play outfield. You'd be, of course, at the plate, designated hitter, whatever. Was it tough to focus on when you played different positions?
I think it made it easier for me. I was more busy. I wasn't really thinking about what I was doing. I was just out there playing and doing what I could to help the team win. So I think just being busy, doing a lot, really helped me to just relax and actually play.
Yeah, well, speaking of helping the team win, boy, you did in 2000, well, your whole career. But let's go back to 2008. You're in Annapolis, down at Navy, and you are the winning pitcher in relief in every one of the Patriot League championship games. How incredible is that?
It's awesome. Yeah, I came in relief every one, and we were tied in every single game. So it was nerve-wracking. I had the fate of the game in my hands, but I was honored to be trusted with that responsibility, and turned out well.
You sure did. A big championship. And you not only did it on the mound when you came in relief, but also with the plate, too. Did that help you? As you said earlier, and in particular in that series against Navy, which is a really good program, did that help you to have both and to take your mind off one or the other?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I always thought I was a better player when I was a catcher back in high school because I was just busy working, and that helped me kind of calm down. So yeah, it helped.
And then, of course, the game that everybody remembers, going down to Tallahassee, facing the juggernaut that is Florida State, and you were a huge part of that. Talk about that win, not only for you individually, which you, of course, didn't necessarily pitch, didn't need to, as it turns out, but you did it at the plate. Talk about that big win.
Yeah, it was amazing. Our starting pitcher, Matt Wilson, threw a complete game shutout. I mean, if your pitcher does that, then you're setting yourself up for success. But it was incredible. Actually, the home crowd, Florida State's home crowd, gave us a standing ovation at the end of the game, which you don't see. You go to somebody's house, you beat them in a national tournament, and they gave us a standing ovation. That just speaks volumes to how incredible our performance was and what we did that day.
At that time, Scott Heather was an assistant coach to Coach Depew, and he had asked me, hey, is there any way we can get a copy of the Kansas-Bucknell game? And you guys saw it on the way to the ballpark. How much did that just give you guys a loose feeling and saying, hey, if the Bucknell men's basketball team can do it against a vaunted program like Kansas, we can do the same here against Florida State?
Totally. It gives you confidence. I mean, you're going to be a little kind of scared to go up against a big powerhouse, but knowing that the basketball team did it, knowing that a Bucknell team can go out there and beat a nationally ranked team, then it makes you think anything's possible.
Before we let you go, obviously you played pro ball for a few seasons. In fact, we got to see you play up at Williamsport one game. How about that journey? Was it tough? Was it tougher than you imagined?
It was hard. It's a grind. Playing 140 games in the summer. Half the time I was living in a basement of somebody's home in the town. It was tough. It was hard, but it was so much fun to be able to go out to a field and have little kids want your autograph and to spend time with them before a game makes their week is a really fulfilling feeling.
And now, last question here. What is Jason Buursma up to right now? Where you living? What are you doing?
Living in Seattle, back in my hometown. I work in marketing for an e-commerce company, and now focusing on raising my two boys. I have an 18-month-old and a 3-month-old at home, so I'm a little tired.
I can see that. You made the people that you face tired, too. Jason, congratulations. What a great honor and well-deserved, buddy.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, Jason Buursma.